What's up, y'all? What's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Draft Nerd Podcast. And look, so it's draft week, and so every day we're gonna be bringing you live content with some of my favorite people. And right where that ends, I gotta introduce two of my favorite Ravens fans, Ravens content creators. We got SheTalksFootball, aka Miss Gina. And then we got
What's up, y'all?
What's up, Miss Gina? And then everybody knows Trippy, right? Everybody knows Trippy. If you're a Ravens fan, even if you're not a Ravens fan, you know who Trippy Kicker is. What's up, bro?
What's up with you? What's up with y'all?
Not much, man. So look, I appreciate y'all for coming on the show tonight, man. So we're gonna get into it, man. We got a lot of things to talk about. Obviously, the draft is coming up here in what is it, 6 days now? We got 6 days. Crazy, right? It's gotten here quick. It felt like
quick, man. Stop lying.
To me, it felt quick. I feel like the season just ended, and now we're all here at the draft. So for me, I needed it to go by pretty quickly because things ended pretty bad last season for us. A great ride that turned into heartbreak, and we're gonna start right there. We're gonna start right there, and we're gonna talk about the AFC Championship game. Excuse me. We're gonna talk about the AFC Championship game and what all that entails. Sorry, I didn't mean to share that. We're gonna talk about the AFC Championship game, right? Obviously, didn't go our way. 17-10, had home field advantage. Felt like everything was on our side to go and get that third Lombardi trophy, and we came up short. So, Miss Gina, I'm gonna let you kick it off with this topic. What do you think went wrong, and how are you feeling now that we are a few months removed now from that game?
Cool. So, I'm only really talking about it because it's you, Matt, because and I told you, about 3 subjects I'm not really discussing in spaces this off season. One was that game. The other one's Rashad Bateman. We not talking in trash about my quarterback. So, I'm sorry. It was Mark Andrews being traded.
Oh yeah.
So, when I hear those subjects, if I'm in the space, just look for me to hit the leave button because we're not doing it. But going back to that AFC Championship game, home at M&T Bank Stadium, where we failed to cash out on our opportunity.
We did.
I'm not sure why. We did not cash out on the opportunity. I felt like we had the tools. I just felt like we didn't utilize all of our tools. For some reason, we went to this game and decided to do things differently than we had been doing up until that point in time, including the previous playoff game the week prior. Yeah. So, why didn't we run the ball more? Why did we stop trading out our tackles? We were rotating our tackles, right? To make sure those guys can stay fresh and healthy. That have been working with us. It was an ingenious idea. It was working. We didn't do that in that game. Why did we not do that in that game? Why did all the things that we have been doing that was working for us, taking what the defenses give us, right? Why didn't we take what the defense was giving us? Why did we try to force? Why did we try to pass the ball more when we were going up against one of the better passing defenses in the league, guys who know how to make plays? So I have no explanation except for, I guess it just wasn't for us. I firmly believe in destiny, and if it's for you, you're going to get it. If it's not, you won't. I don't understand why it wasn't. I still feel like it could have been. I don't know. But, yeah, it was disappointing. But what I've ended it off with saying, I hope this was our 2011. And we all know what happened after the 2011 season. So I hope this was our 2011, and I'll leave it at that.
I agree. Trippy, 6 carries in the AFC Championship game for the running backs. What happened, man?
I mean, I still think about it like it was yesterday. I mean, I hate to keep talking about it, but I mean, it's pretty sad. Like us as Raven fans, we still bring up 2019. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like 2019 was our window. Our window's still open, but I just felt like I mean, it's very disappointing. You feel me? Like, we go into this off season hoping we sign Lamar. We bring Lamar back. We sign OBJ. We draft a receiver. Now the main thing is, can we stay healthy? We stay healthy. We go through the regular season, win the division, get the monkey off our back. You know, Lamar can't get through the first round. We do that, then the first the divisional round, man. And then it's like we get to the AFC Championship game. Usually when we play the AFC Championship game, it's always on the road. We play at home and we just go out there like it just I don't know. And I feel what Miss Gina saying, like, I do feel like this kind of remind me of like the 2011 season. But the only difference is like the 2011 season, not saying like we was like a sorry team, but it wasn't like this team. You see what I'm saying? Like, this was like one of the best Ravens teams we ever saw. And all I'm trying to think of is like, how can we build off of that? You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we lost Patrick Queen. We got Trent Simpson to replace him. You feel me? Yeah, we lost Geno, but I feel like Darius Smith can come in. You feel me? We got Pepe coming back. You know, a couple pieces. Yeah, we lost a couple, offensive linemen, but we got some young boys that everybody been preaching on that we want to see get on the field.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to, see. You know how I feel about Bateman. I'm gonna tell you how I feel about Bateman. I don't have no problem with Bateman. It's just like, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, we got 8. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it like, as long as we got 8, we good. You feel me? So I'm looking at it like, if us as fans saying Bateman is open, but Lamar not getting him the ball, we're not going to sit up here and say, well, Lamar need to get him although I do feel like they need to work on it, but we're not going to sit up here and say, well, Lamar, something. Because if you look at it, a lot of people just saying, let's just trade Bateman or let's just start fresh. When I'm saying trade him, right, I'm not saying it like, oh, he's sorry. I'm just saying, like, you're in a contract year, right? So I'm looking at it like, push come to shove, even if you ball out with the Ravens or you don't. If you don't ball out, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to get like a prove-it deal. You see what I'm saying? Like a 1-year prove-it deal. And if you do ball out with us, it's just going to be like, do we have the money for you, or you might price yourself out? So my thing is, like, I'm looking at it like, why not just give him a fresh start? You know what I'm saying? And then we could just start fresh, because, like, EDC, he did hit on Zay Flowers, and I feel like if we do draft another receiver this year, I feel like he'll capitalize off of that. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm not saying I don't feel like Bateman is a good team, because I see the ability in Bateman, but I just don't, you know what I mean? And then I just see, like, not to bring no big deal about the workouts, but that's just like what Derrick Henry said. It was you had Kyle in my space the other day, and he said something about where Derrick Henry was like, yeah, I'm just committed. You see what I'm saying? Like, he ain't even been with the Ravens, but he's committed.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm just looking at it like, Bateman, this a prove it year. Like, why you ain't committed? You feel what I'm saying? Like, us as fans, we can say, oh, they not throwing. We don't care. Pat Mahomes just signed Hollywood. What they doing? They working out together. That's building chemistry. So, and they back-to-back champs. I hate to say it. They trying, you know what I mean? So
they try 3-peat. Yeah.
It's
so
just,
with that being said, though, you kind of alluded to it. Let's talk about this man. To a positive side, a positive note, right? We lost the game. We didn't run the ball like we should have. Six carries in the AFC Championship game to your running backs is egregious when you are a running team. When that's your MO, when that's your identity.
No. When you're the number 1 rushing team in the league that season.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's your MO. It's who you are, right? And you got to the biggest moment, the biggest stage, and you did not lean on who you are and what you do best. And so, fast forward to free agency, right? Back in March, the Ravens signed this man, Derrick Henry. And Ms. Gina, tell me, what do you think this addition brings to the Ravens this year?
So when you said his name just now, I just immediately thought about the phrase "delayed is not denied." We all know she should have been on our team actually at the trade deadline. That was confirmed. We all know that she, who should not be named, just decided to block it. But we could have had him back in November. for that playoff run. And I think that could have made a significant difference right now. If you have him on the bench and you're not running him, then like, what are you going to do? But I just firmly believe if he was there, I do not think that would have happened if he was there. So the difference that he's going to make, like we are running back by committee, and I do not think that's going to change. I do think we still will be a running back by committee, but I do think Derrick Henry will get more touches perhaps than what was given Gus in seasons, than what was given JK in seasons, than what was given Justice Hill in seasons. I do think Derrick Henry will get more. Why? Because he's Derrick Henry. Like, what are we saying?
Exactly.
So he's going to me, he's effective on the field, whether it's a run play or not. Like him just standing out there in the backfield with Lamar makes it effective. And they're going to assume we're going to run, even if we're not going to run. So if we take care of business, right, we can get our personnel together, our standard personnel, so a personnel that we can run out of and pass the ball out of. What are you going to do, ladies and gentlemen? Please tell me what a defense is going to do if we're able to build the right personnel that we can run out of it, pass out of it, have Derrick Henry out there in the backfield with Lamar. That's going to be trouble. So I think Derrick Henry is going to, just by his presence, he's going to demand the ball. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's going to get out there and be like, man, you got to give me the ball. Man, you got to give me the ball. I just think because he's Derrick Henry, he's going to demand the ball. He was already him before he came here. Our wide receivers, we drafted those guys, right? Or we didn't draft them. They were undrafted players that we picked up. I think somebody like Derrick Henry coming, just like Ingram. Remember when we picked up Ingram? Ingram got the ball, right? So I think it's the same type of thing when we have that established running back and we have Derrick Henry, who is arguably a top 5 running back in the league. His presence is just going to demand the ball. So I expect him, even though we're still going to be running back by committee in general, I'm saying in general, I still think he'll get more touches than what some of those other guys did.
Okay, Trippy. So let me ask you, what is your expectation for Derrick Henry in year 1 with the Ravens?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like his expectation just gonna be like he the missing piece. Like, I mean, just listening to him, like, plus it, man, he went to Alabama. Like, he used to like, playoffs, championships, stuff like that. So I just feel like he the missing piece. But I mean, I don't want to, like, me as a fan, I don't want it to be like, all right, us as Raven fans, damn, we only gave our running back 6 carries, but I don't want it to be where as though, like, all right, we got Derrick Henry, we just gonna force it. You get what I'm saying? Like, I still want it to be balanced, where as though, because like Miss Gina said, like, I ain't gonna lie, Derrick Henry and Lamar in that backfield together, and we left out somebody. Don't forget Project Pat.
Oh,
Like,
he loves Project Pat too.
You know what I mean? Imagine a linebacker, like, you got Patrick Queen went to the Steelers. Like, imagine Derrick Henry lining up Patrick Queen back there. I mean, Pat Ricard back there, and he coming like, come on, you gotta choose your poison. What you want? You want to get pancake blocked by Pat Ricard, or you gonna get ran over, stiffed on by Derrick Henry? So I feel like that's the, that's gonna be a spark. But also, we gotta see how the offensive line go. But I feel like the Derrick Henry thing, the only thing that scared me about the Derrick Henry thing, and I think I told you this yesterday, I'm gonna just be a little nervous, like, what if we down like 10 or more points? You get what I'm saying? That's the only thing I'm worried about. Cause like last year, we weren't really down that much. The 2019 season, we wasn't really down that much, but when we was down, it was kind of like a little struggle. Now it's still early, but that's just a little problem. But Derrick Henry, like, mind you, we still got Keaton Mitchell. I'm pretty sure EDC, he said he's going to draft a running back.
Right.
We still got Hill. You know what I mean?
Right.
So even if we don't, I feel like we shouldn't even rush Mitchell back. Like, even if he takes at the week 6 to come back, we know what he got. You feel what I'm saying? So we got the other running backs, the rookie getting a little bit of carry. So by the time the playoffs come, we can start clicking. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can pick your poison. We got 3-4 running backs you gotta defend. You know what I'm saying? Plus Lamar. Yep. So, I mean, we'll see.
Man, I love it. I mean, like, I'm glad Miss Gina mentioned Mark Ingram, because you just remember when they signed Mark Ingram, he was the spark that lit that offense, right? Like, they already had playmakers. Lamar was already special, but it was Lamar's first full year as a starter, and Mark Ingram literally was the engine that drove that offense. he literally gave Lamar. Lamar's already a confident young man, but he just boosted Lamar's confidence even more. You felt like, any game, Mark Ingram can go off for 100 yards on you, or Lamar could go off for 100 yards on you, or maybe they both go off for 100 yards in the same game, and we run up 250 yards rushing on people. It was really that dangerous. And I just think about Derrick Henry. That's even more devastating because Derrick Henry is a closer. We know we can score with the best of them, right? I don't know what happened in that AFC Championship game, but more times than not, we put up points, 25, 30 points. Now, you get that. You get a 25-point lead on the team or 14, 16-point lead on the team, and now it's Derrick Henry the rest of the way, and no one wants to have to deal with that. Also, we haven't even talked about the potential of what the offense can be if we can get Keaton Mitchell back healthy. Mm-hmm. We didn't even talk about the receivers and Zay Flowers. His to me, him taking another step in year 2, right? He played really well for a rookie, but always break it down like this. If a rookie gives you anything, it's good because rookies go through a lot, right? So they finish their college season, right? After their college season is over, they go straight to the bowl games, right? So like the East-West game or the Senior Bowl. After the Senior Bowl, even during that time, they're prepping for the combine. They go through the combine, and then they start to go on visits. So they flying all over the country, meeting with different teams, going on 30 visits or whatever. And then after that, they have a pro day. They do a pro day where they run, jump, do all of these things. And after the pro day, basically you got the draft. So that's a lot. And we didn't even talk about rookie minicamp that proceeds immediately after the draft. So a week after the draft, the Ravens have their rookie minicamp, and that's a lot to be able to take on for a rookie and still be able to perform. So now I expect bigger things from Zay Flowers because he doesn't have to worry about any of that anymore. All he got to do is worry about going to workouts, going to training camp, and just getting ready for football, getting ready for the season. He ain't got all the other stuff, all those other distractions. So what are you guys' expectations for our second-year players? Guys like Zay Flowers, Trenton Simpson is now going to be thrust into a bigger role. Also, we have Tavius Robinson, who was a later-round pick. We got Voorhees, who redshirted last year. What's your expectation for the sophomores, Ms. Gina?
So, like you said, I definitely expect him to take a large leap in this offense. The other thing to add to your other list is learning a new offense, right?
Yeah.
So now we're coming back into the second year of this offense. I think they established the foundation of the offense. They were able to build some layers on top of it. Now you can take what you learned last year, come back. You have that basic foundations, but we can build more layers. We can make more looks. We can, there's some stuff in there to confuse defenses because they really have it down now. You know what I'm saying? So right. I like that. I love the fact that they will be coming back. Everybody will be coming back in the second year in Todd Monken's offense. So I actually do expect him to take a leap. He got baptized. There were some games where people tried to beat up on Shorty. Like, well, leave my wide receiver alone. He ain't with this high. Why are you doing that to him? Like, we know there were some games where they for real. Some of those that yellow and black over there. We saw in different other games, we saw how they kind of targeted, him because he was a weapon. He was a threat. And they kind of, hitting them all in his helmet, knocking him out on the, they did all kinds of stuff to my boy. You know what? He jumped back up and he kept on playing. So he is tough. So I'm excited to see him in the second year. He'll be acclimated now in the second year of this offense. A better idea of what it's like to play in the NFL now. He went all the way to the AFC Championship in his rookie year. He has a good amount of experience under his belt. So from last year. So I'm excited for what he's going to do. I expect this dude to still be our first or second receiver in terms of stats. This season, I still expect him to be somewhere in there. He was number one last season. I expect him to possibly still be number one or perhaps number two because, Mark will be back. So we'll see how this offense is looking. You know, there are some opportunities there, but yeah, I'm looking for dude to take another leap. I would love for Zay Flowers. This will be very lofty, but I'm gonna say this to leave it here. I would love for Zay Flowers to be a top 10 wide receiver in this league.
Me too.
Have we ever had a wide receiver that was in the top 10?
I don't think so. I know for sure.
I don't think so.
We had one that we drafted. I know that for sure.
Right. So I would love for him to be top 10, even top 15, because we haven't had that yet, right? So I would love for him to be there. I think that would be great for him. It would be great for us.
Awesome. Trippy, what's your excitement level for the sophomores?
I mean, I'm very excited for real, because if you think about it, like, you got Zay Flowers in the first round, Trent Simpson in the second round, the third round, I forgot. I was just literally looking at. I don't know how I forgot off the head, but basically everybody was contributing this year, except for Salah, Voorhees, because he was hurt. Right. But what I liked about it was like everybody did something. Like even to my man T-Rob, like you probably didn't really hear his name, but I always saw him on the field. And one thing I like about that, I just love to see rookies get experience. You know what I'm saying? Like how Travis Jones was. Remember when Travis Jones was a rookie? He got in there a couple times. He wasn't doing it all, but like last year, you saw him start to like jump out there. And that's what I expect. I expect Trenton Simpson to have like a break. I ain't gonna say a breakout year, but I think he's gonna have like a better year than what Patrick Queen had. Because the thing about the difference I say between Patrick Queen and Trent Simpson is Patrick Queen, he was just put in the starting role. You know what I mean? And us as Raven fans, when a linebacker get drafted in the first round, what's our first expectation? Oh, he can play like Ray Lewis, you feel me? And then I just felt like Patrick Queen at the time was too small, especially because we ain't really had the tackles to be able to clog up the hole, you know what I mean? So I feel like Trent Simpson, he don't have to worry about too much. Plus he playing next to Rowe. Playing next to Rowe. So
yeah,
big things from him. T-Rob. Hey, if Voorhees get the starting right guard position, I feel like that's a plus because this is basically a rookie season for him.
Yeah.
And then you also
Voorhees doesn't play left guard, y'all.
Oh, he played right guard.
Voorhees, he doesn't. No. I'm saying he doesn't. He would be a right guard, not left.
No, he played left guard.
No, he gonna be a left
guard. Oh, he does play left. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was about to get nervous now.
No, my bad. I don't know. My bad. I don't know why I said right guard. My fault. Left guard. If he played left guard, that's a big plus for us because it's basically like we got a rookie starter there. You know what I mean? But I feel like everybody there. Who else? I mean, the only draft pick last year that was like a failure was Caillou Kelly. But other than that, I mean, everybody else was pretty decent to me, and I feel like we'll build off of this, but definitely looking for it's a big sophomore year from a lot of them.
Yeah, me too.
And then also Zay Flowers. I was a big Zay Flowers fan. I wanted him since day one. Hey, I predict him to have over 700 yards and 7 touchdowns. I think I was off on the touchdowns, but this year I think he probably had 10, probably over 1,000 yards. Just based off the the volume, stuff like that. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm looking for us it's certain things I'm looking for in the team this year. I don't want us to be like no other team, but like Miss Jana said, she wants to see Zay Flowers as a top 10. I want to too, to be honest with you. I think he could be top 5. But it all depends on how we use him. But in the same time, I just feel like, you know what I mean? He just gonna keep balling out because you said in him, he work out, then he's so quick. So I mean, we'll see, man. I'm just
Matt Kicker.
Yeah.
I think we have the opportunity. Tell me if I'm being too lofty. I think we have the opportunity to have 1,000-yard rusher, 1,000-yard receiver, and 1,000-yard tight end.
Yeah.
You think that's possible?
Heck yeah. I think the only problem that could happen with that is likely could eat into Andrews' numbers a little bit because that's what we want to see, right? We want to see them both get utilized. And if that happens, then one of them or neither of them may get 1,000. But if we're talking 600 from each tight end, plus 1,000-yard receiver, plus 1,000-yard running back, I'm all for that. And listen, I want the 1,000-yard running back to not be, my quarterback. So have Derrick Henry here. I'm bullish on Derrick Henry. I actually think he might break the rushing record this year. I just think of just how dominant our run game is in general, and then you put an elite running back in that system, man, forget about it. I just think the sky's the limit.
I don't know. I don't know about breaking the rush. I don't know if I want him to break the rushing yard, and that sounds crazy. But what I mean by that is, unless he's able to
overwork, right?
break off these. Yes, that's the thing. I want the man to be here and healthy for these next 2 years. I think the contract was 2 years, right? And I want to be able to get everything, but I want it to be paced. Like, he came from a team where he was the offense on that team, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be that on our team. He's not. So from that aspect, it's not that I wouldn't be happy for him if he's able to get it easily. Like, we just opening up crazy holes for him. And so he's, once he gets past the line of scrimmage, he's like a runaway train. You can't stop him. So it's like, if he gets it because our O-line is just opening up everything for him, and he's just able to get going and revved up like a train, and people just can't stop him. That's great, but I don't want to get him to get there because of overusage.
Yeah,
I want us to be able to savor and get every drop of blood out, but not all at one time. We don't need him to get 2,000. You know what I'm saying? For him to be super effective and take our offense, to the next level, we don't need him to break the rushing record. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, the wear and tear, you definitely don't want to, because he did just turn 30, so you know. That wear and tear is a fact.
I mean, I feel where Miss Gina coming from, but I'm like on Matt's side too. Like, I feel like he coming in here to try to put a because like you said, it's only 2 years, so like I feel like he trying to put whereas though we could be like, yeah, that was one of them running backs we signed. He wasn't even here that long, but like he was, you know what I mean? Like,
I feel like he's also trying to put the final stamps on his Hall of Fame career too. And I think 2 things that can help him make sure he's in the Hall of Fame. One, winning the championship, and 2, if he breaks that record, it's a wrap. You might as well put him in the Hall of Fame.
And I mean, and I'm looking at it like, I feel like he can, because like I'm looking at the 2020 year, they only played 16 games. And how many we play now? What, 18, right? 17. And I mean, I don't know, but like I said, he gonna get some of them big runs whereas though 1 carry or 2 carries, he might have over 100 yards. You know what I mean? So
right, and that's cool. If it's like that, I like that, Trippy. If it's like that.
But one thing I want to say before we go to the next topic, the one thing I do like about Derrick Henry, because I don't know, I don't know if y'all peep this too. I realized usually when we got the lead, we kind of stuck with it. Like, we can't just run the ball. Like, we always got to do dumb stuff, like try to pass the ball. Now I feel like if we up 14 or whatever, we got Derrick Henry. Not saying we got to overuse him, but I feel like that's another reason why we bought him. Like, he could be like the finisher. Like, we up now, let's finish him. You feel me? They already wore down. Let's finish him. You feel me?
So Trippy, this next topic, I want to start with you. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it that the Ravens draft a receiver in this year's draft?
10.
Okay, elaborate.
10, because like I was telling Shaw the other day, you broke it down like how many receivers is good. Not saying that you can't find a receiver late in the rounds, but I just feel like within these first 2 picks, we gotta get a receiver because, like I said, bro, I'm looking at it it don't make sense. We got a dynamic quarterback, 2-time MVP, but he really don't have them weapons I can't even think of no quarter. I was about to say Josh Allen, but he lost some pieces. But if you get what I'm saying, like a Joe Burrow, if you look at it the Steelers, their problem was a quarterback, but they still had receivers. They still talking about trying to sign Tyler Boyd, whereas though I feel like they don't need receivers. You can look at the Eagles. They got Devontae Smith. They just signed, you know what I mean? Look at the Dolphins.
Brown, Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? And I just feel like we still need another. Remember, I was saying this last year, Matt, firepower. I feel like we just still need more firepower, whereas though it won't be too, you know what I mean, too much. I just feel like if we can get that big receiver that can be able to whereas though, damn, they might have to double team him. They got to focus on him too. So it's gonna be hard. Damn, I can't cover Zay. Can't double team Zay. Can't double team Likely. Mark Andrews. You know what I mean? And the other ones. So that's how I look at it. But it's definitely some.
Oh, we lost Trippy. I think he hit the
Well,
wrong button.
to answer your question,
scale of 1 to 10.
Samuel, it's absolutely a 10. We're down to, well, we just picked up Deontay Harry.
Yeah.
We just picked him up. And so I do think he's going to be more towards special teams. I think is why we picked him up. So I still think we need 2 more wide receivers. And we definitely need a
sorry about that. I think I got disconnected or something.
Yeah, we need a really good wide receiver to add to that room, right? Just to take it up a level right now, right? Because we just need to take it up a level. And so it's very important. I saw one of the funniest things on Twitter. This dude is always like making some of the most hilarious content. I don't know if you saw Samuel and Joku's post today about the wide receivers. And they was like, ladies and gentlemen, we still think and he was like, do it, you're like, whatever it was. That thing had me crying all day long every time it showed up on my timeline.
Shout out to Joku, by the way. He'll be on the pod on Sunday. So
he always throws some funny stuff out there.
Yeah, he always got some funny stuff.
He's a really good follow. He's a really good follow. For sure.
So no. But that thing was true though. Like it was funny, but it was true. We absolutely need to get a wide receiver in the first or the second round. I'm very specific. There could be our second wide receiver could come from the third round, but our first wide receiver needs to come from the first round or the second round. If we get that tackle, if one of those nice tackles drop to us in the first round, then yes, we need a wall. Take the tackle, and we'll see who's there in the second round. But like if one of those nice tackles aren't there in the first round, and we got one of those nice wide receivers, get the wide receiver. But yes, it is absolutely imperative that we get a wide receiver in the first or second round. I'm very specific about that.
Right. I'm right there with you, Ms. Jenna. It's definitely a 10 for me for a lot of different reasons. Obviously, whether you believe or not if Bateman can be the guy or not, the fact of the matter is he's basically on a 1-year deal. I don't think they're going to pick up his 5th-year option. I don't think they'll pick up either one of their 5th-year options. So I really do think that it's 1-year deal left for Bateman if he's not moved. And if that's the case, if he's on his team, then you still need someone for the future. You still need someone to pair with Zay for the long term. And whatever you get from Bateman, you get from Bateman. Now, if Bateman is moved, then it's even more imperative that you get a receiver in the first 2 rounds. Just because, that's what EDC talked about, right? I still remember after the 2022 draft, he talked about, with the amount of the amount of money that these receivers are now getting in the open market, it's imperative that you go out in the draft every year and draft a receiver every year in the first or second round, because you got to stay ahead of the curve. You got to stay ahead of some of these big salaries. And when you're paying your quarterback, you can't afford to have your quarterback on a max deal and your tight end on a max deal and your tackle on a max deal and your safety on a max deal, and then you want to get a wide receiver on them. You got to draft and develop guys. You have to. Every year has to be the goal. You got to draft a receiver every year. That way you never really feel like, oh man, then I got to go out and overpay. Kind of look at what Tennessee did with Calvin Ridley. I like Calvin Ridley, but that was an overpay. And I felt like that was the only way he was going to Tennessee is if they overpaid him. So, we never want to be in a situation where we feel like we got to overpay a receiver. Because frankly, we overpaid Odell Beckham last year. We gave him $18 million, 15 guaranteed for 1 season. And that was an overpay, but we all know what kind of went into that. They did that to get Lamar back in-house, get him to buy in. Not only that, he was going to the Jets. He said it. He said if it wasn't for Steve Bisciotti calling him and saying, hey, look, what we got to do to get this done, he was going to New York. And so we don't want to be in those type of situations where we're having to overpay veterans to come play for us when we can just breed our own young guys. I hate to say it, but the best example is up in Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh. They just keep drafting and developing young receivers, and you never really see them overpay veterans receivers or even bring people out from the outside. I still remember.
The Bengals too.
Yeah, I remember when they had Hines Ward and what's his name, Santonio Holmes, right? And we was like, oh, those are great receivers. And they went from those guys to Mike Wallace, Antonio Brown, and Emmanuel Sanders, right? And then they left from those guys, and then it's just like they just lather, rinse, repeat when it comes to receivers. And hopefully Zay Flowers last year was a start to a new beginning for the Ravens at the receiver position. So that leads me to my next topic, which is the Ravens are picking at 30 this year, right? So what are we thinking should be the pick? What do you guys think should be the pick at pick 30? Who do you think the Ravens should pick? And let's just do that. Who do you guys think should be the pick at 30, or what you think the pick should be? Do you think it should be a tackle, a guard, a wide receiver, a corner? I mean, if you look at Ravens Twitter, it's all over the place. I mean, some people want a corner, some people want a tight end. I mean, not a tight end. No one wants a tight end.
I hope not.
No one wants a tight end. But let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I definitely, I actually said that a couple minutes ago. Needs to be a tackle. If there is a tackle worthy of being drafted at 30, yes, take the tackle. We definitely need to beef up our wall. I want an absolute wall. When Lamar has a clean pocket and time to throw the ball, my man does serious damage. And he loves to be able to just sit in the pocket and dice people up. So we need to get that wall. So yes, I would say tackle. If there is not a tackle worth taking at 30, but there's a wide receiver, then take the wide receiver. I expect it to be one of those two. I cannot see a defensive player being there. That would be, at least, I'm listening to y'all because y'all know I'm getting my knowledge from here. All of y'all different discussions and everything. I haven't heard too much of a cornerback, a CB that could be available at 30 that will be worth taking. Like, it would just have to be all the tackles and wide receivers are gone, and we know that's not going to be that because why? The market is deep on tackles and wide receivers, so I don't see how it could not be one of those two.
Thank you, Jesus. Yeah, Trippy, are you there?
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening, y'all. Hold on. I was taking care of something. I'm listening.
All right, let me know when you're ready. So I'm going to add to that. I think I'm gonna go as far as to say if a tackle's not there, or we don't feel like we want to reach on the receiver, why not take a high level guard? Right? There's some high level guards in this draft that, to me, I think will be perennial Pro Bowler, all pros. That, like, for example, if a guy like Graham Barton or Jackson Powers Johnson, is there, I think you take him just because Graham Barton can play all 5 positions. He can play center, he can play both guard spots and both tackle spots. To me, the Ravens value that type of versatility, right? We all know that. They love guys that can move all up and down the line because you just never know what might happen when it comes to injuries. And so to be able to have a guy like that can play all up and down the line, but also start one of those positions for you and be an all-pro, I mean, I just think that's super valuable because, to me, and I said this before in the spaces, to me, I think the tackle position isn't necessarily as important with the dual threat quarterback as it is when you have a statue guy, right? When we watch Lamar Jackson, for example, because that's what we're talking about, he does a really good job of sensing pressure, from the outside. If he can see it, he can feel it, he can break a tackle, he can get away from it. It's when that pocket collapses from the inside that he has trouble. I always think about the AFC Championship game where the pocket collapsed and he literally ran back 25 yards to avoid being sacked. That's because Chris Jones was dominating the guards in that game, and he was coming right up the middle. The tackles, every time, even when they beat the tackles from around the corner, he break out of it and roll to his left or his right. He's able to get out of the way. I just think if you can solidify and have a great interior offensive line, you already got an all-pro center. If you can put 2 good guards next to Linderbaum, I just think that would really solidify our offensive line. I do like Daniel Falele getting an opportunity this year. I do like the addition of what's his name? Is it Charles Jones? I do like him coming in as a free agent. And I trust the Ravens as much as I don't trust them when it comes to receiver, I trust them even more when it comes to developing offensive linemen. I mean, we can go through the years of guys they got late in the draft or even undrafted free agency, and they developed them, right?
Right.
I think of names that just pop into my head. I think of like guys like James Hurst, guys like Rick Wagner, right? Getting guys late in the draft that they can develop, right? I think about what's the guard we had, the John Urschel, the mathematician. He played really well before he decided to retire. They've always found guys. Always, what's our guy, the center that left and went to Tampa Bay? No, they went to Tampa Bay.
What's our dude?
Jensen.
What's up?
Jensen.
Yes, Ryan Jensen.
Yeah, he was a late round pick as well. And yes, thank you, Byron. Josh Jones is the guy that they brought in. I like him a lot. So to me, if you can beef up the middle of that offensive line, I think you can get away without like having all pro tackles. And so whichever way the draft falls, if a really good tackle falls, then take him, right? If Amarius Mims is there, to me, I'm like, hey, run the card up. Obviously, I would love a guy like Talisi Fuaga or Troy Furtado. If one of those guys it is, I mean, I think you might see the Ravens on the clock for less than 2 seconds. They might, run the card up that quick. But if those guys aren't there, man, and there's a dominant interior guy to be taken, take that guy. Because, like, why not, right? And so, yeah, I'm right along with you guys. I feel like it should be either offensive line, whether that's guard or tackle, or wide receiver with the first pick. I think they can get corners later in this draft. I think they can get some defense like safeties and even possibly an edge rush. I don't like this edge rush class. The edge rush class is a little weak. But there's some other players they can get at other positions later in the draft. Now, let me ask you, Trippy, let me know when you're back. But Ms. Gina, let me ask you, what do you think about trading back and going into the second round instead of picking at 30?
Well, it can't be far back in the second round. So it's really going to depend on who's on the board. If it's just nobody on the board at 30 that we want on the O-line or wide receiver, then and he's able to go ahead and trade back, but keep us, close, up top of that second round, that might be okay, and pick up some extra pick or something, that might be okay. It really just depends on who's on the board. So it's hard for me to answer that question. I know if there isn't anybody that's on their big board to get, he's not going to just pick somebody just for the sake of picking someone. So He will go ahead and trade back. So I'm utterly confident in EBC and how he moves in this draft. If there's nobody there, he'll trade back. I'll be okay with it. I do not think he would trade back on somebody that was like, oh, why we didn't get them? Like, I just don't see that situation happening. So.
Okay. So real quick, Jesus Christ says grab Sutton from Denver and draft Ricky Pearsall. So let's focus on the first part of that sentence is grab Sutton. Do you think the Ravens should try to make a play for Courtland Sutton?
Sutton doesn't jump off for me. Like, oh my gosh, adding him is really going to move the needle. I'm not saying he won't move the needle. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying based off of how he's played in Denver, he doesn't jump off for me for moving the needle. Yeah. So wait a minute. Which one is let me make sure I haven't spoken too fast. Which one is the one that was making those crazy catches with Russell Wilson on Denver? Was it Sutton?
Yeah, it was Sutton. Yeah.
Okay, I'm scratch. Rewind, go back. So I always get Sutton and the other dude confused. Yeah. So I like the chemistry that Sutton had with Russell, and he made some really nice catches in the end zone, especially in that corner.
Yeah.
So scratch everything I said before. I get those guys confused. So if he's able to come here and get that chemistry with Lamar and be able to make those what I call those tippy toe catches, in the back of the end zone, in the corner of the end zone, and all that kind of stuff, because we don't really have anybody that does that a lot.
Right.
I would. So take that back. So I would be okay with Sutton, and as long as he can develop that chemistry with Lamar, he's an outside receiver.
My bad.
So I think that Sutton could work. And still draft somebody. But that would mean drafting somebody in later rounds now.
Trippy, what do you think about a possible trade for a receiver like Courtland Sutton?
I mean, I love it. I saw like a little. I mean, to be honest with you, I know some fans don't like it, but I'm looking at it like, say for instance, right, if we could trade like Bateman, and like even give like the Broncos like a 4th round pick, and maybe they might send us like a 7th round pick and Sutton, right? I'm looking at it like we still got our 1st round draft pick, right? So that's like, look at it. So now we can either draft a lineman, in the 2nd round we can go wide receiver, or vice versa. You feel me? Wide receiver in the 1st round. Now we got more firepower. You feel me? We got Sutton, a former Pro Bowler. We know what he could do, and mind you, he played with the Broncos, 10 different quarterbacks. He definitely could put up numbers. And to be honest with you, he definitely was on my draft board when that year when the Ravens was drafting, but he missed out on him. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it, though. Maybe, and I just look at it like, hey, if it's Bateman for Sutton, it's like a swap for swap. It's a fresh start for both players. Now they just both go ball out. And I don't think Sutton would be too expensive like a Brandon Ayuk. You get what I'm saying? And then we don't have to give up our 1st round draft pick. So that's a plus. And then, hey, we might could just get Sutton if we could just get Sutton for like a 4th round pick. And maybe if we don't have to trade Bateman, maybe we could try to work something in. But my thing is, I don't know how Bateman will feel about that.
Right.
Right, because us as fans, we really got to think about that, right? Because I think I said that a couple times in your space, Matt, like how last year before we signed Lamar, we drafted Nelly, right? And we did have some Raven fans saying, "What is this our wide receiver one? And who gonna throw him the ball?" And then we signed Odell, you see what I'm saying? And then we get Zay, and then Lamar came out and was saying, "Yeah, I was trying to get D-Hop also too." So that made me start to wonder, like, do Bateman feel some type of way? Because you got to think about this is contract year. So it's just like, if we do bring in other receivers and Bateman still on the team, where his production going to come from? Like, how he going to be able to prove himself to see if he going to get a contract next year? You feel what I'm saying? So,
yeah. We talked about this yesterday with Cole and Engraven. And I think Cole mentioned that, obviously we had a deal in place to trade for Courtland Sutton last year, but apparently the trade didn't go through because it was supposed to be another team involved. It was like some type of 3-team trade, which is something you never see in the NFL. And it was supposed to be something where didn't go through, or it didn't, hold up on one of the other teams' end. And so it just kind of fell through. But when you think about the potential of having Zay on one side, Courtland Sutton, big body receiver, on the other side, who's a veteran, right? Because when I think of the Ravens, they're a win now team. They're not. This is not a hey, let's build for the future team. I mean, we're building for the future while also trying to win now. And that team wants to get back where they left off, which is that AFC Championship game, so they can right or wrong. And to me, bringing in a guy that can have instant impact makes a lot of sense. He's 28 years old. He'll be 29 years old, I think, at some point this year. He's going to want a contract, but like someone mentioned earlier, I don't think he will be as expensive as Ayuk. Yeah, I couldn't think of his name. Lord, I can see his face, couldn't think of his name. So I think he wouldn't be as expensive as Ayuk, and he probably would definitely come cheaper when it comes to draft capital. We do have 2 4th-round picks. If you could use one of them on a wide receiver, Denver doesn't have a lot of cap space. I mean, not a lot of cap space. They don't have a lot of draft capital. And so they can use more picks because I think they're going to want to take a player early with their first pick. And then I think they're going to want to try to get back in the 1st round.
Let's give them a 4th and a 7th.
Yeah. They want to try to get.
We got 2 of those.
Yeah, to get a quarterback. So we give them a 4 and a 7. They could probably then, use their 2nd or something next year to move up to get a quarterback. And that allows us to take Sutton off their hands because it feels like they're getting rid of the old regime. All the people who were drafted by the old regime, they got rid of Jerry Jeudy, they got rid of Russell Wilson. They, you know what I mean? And it feels like Cortland Sutton is last on that list. And for most people who don't follow him on Instagram, right when the season ended, he basically put out a goodbye to Denver, the fans, thanking him for his time there, telling him how much he appreciated it. And, he was looking forward to the future, whatever that may be. So Cortland Sutton seems to be a guy that may be available. And I do think, that might be the way to go. I mean, he's still fairly young. He's not super old, right? He's not like in his, late 30s or mid 30s. He's not even 30 yet. So I think you could get him and keep him for 3-4 years. And while you draft and develop a younger guy behind him. But like Trippy said, the Bateman situation, I don't know if you could trade for Cortland Sutton and keep Bateman. Bateman, we all know Bateman can be volatile. And when first he had to compete for targets last year with OBJ and Nelson Aguilar, and now this year it'll be Nelson Aguilar again, also with Cortland Sutton. I just don't think with Likely and Andrews and all those guys, I don't think it's enough footballs to go around to be able to please a Bateman in the manner of which I believe he would want to be pleased. So, Cortland Sutton.
I'll be right back.
Okay, Cortland Sutton.
Man, look, you know what train I'm on, man. I'm just trying to upgrade the wide receiver thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. I just look at it like, all right, like the only receivers we lost was like OBJ and Odell, but I'm looking at it like, what have they done for us last year? And I'm looking at it like, with this same wide receiver core, can we really get back to the AFC Championship game? If we really being honest, like, yeah, we signed Derrick Henry, but at the same time, we still gotta, you know what I mean? Because I'm looking at it like I said earlier, what if we down a couple points?
Yeah.
Like, who we gonna depend on? Like, what if they triple team in Zay or something? Mark Andrews, like, who would be that second option? Could we trust Bateman? We know the potential there, but it's just like, is 8 on, you know what I mean, get him the ball. And I just don't want to go through the same stuff last.
Did I lose him? Uh-oh. I think we lost Trippy, y'all. But we're getting ready to wind down. I'm waiting for Miss Gina to get back, and then we got like one last topic, and then we'll go from there. But what do you guys think in the chat? What do you guys think of OBJ and Odell? Bateman may be gone before the deadline. If nothing changes, Cortland or Brandon, do you like crab cakes? He's always healthy, which is a big plus. That is good. I'm hearing Ayuk actually might get moved, though, y'all. And he might be coming to our division, which is something I would not want to see.
My bad, man. I'm bad. I don't know why I'm clicking out like I exit. I don't know. Maybe it's a glitch or something.
It might be. Did you hit something?
No, I ain't hit nothing. I don't know. Maybe, sometimes how, like, when you on Twitter, something, it just exit out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm good. But, like I was saying, I just don't, like, me as a Ravens fan now, like, I was just like on the tip where though I'm gonna just rock out with who we got, but now I'm getting to the point like I want us to start like I ain't with all that. Well, like fall, you know what I mean? Like it's just like we need these dogs. Whereas though we need because it's these younger kids coming in, they want to produce. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't want to like keep saying the same stale stuff. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I agree.
And like I said, who knows? Bateman might come out and it might be his year. You feel me? It might be his year, but what if it's not? It's going to be like the same thing next year. Then now we're going to be looking like, yo, we need to draft a wide receiver in the first round. You know what I mean? Again or whatever. So
right.
Well,
last topic. What we think about the AFC North, right? As you can see, this is how standings ended. I believe 14-3 Ravens, 10-7 Browns, 9-8 Bengals, and 7-10 Steelers. So last topic of the night, and we're talking AFC North. What do you guys think about all the influx of talent that has come into the division over the last few months? The Steelers have gotten a lot stronger. They got 2 quarterbacks. They got to figure out who's going to be the guy. Is it Fields? Is it Russ? They are rumored to be one of the teams sniffing around a Brandon Ayuk trade. We've seen some of the other additions they've made. The Browns have made some additions to their team as well. The Bengals, out it goes Joe Mixon, in comes Zach Moss. They did lose DJ Reader, but they also brought in Sheldon Rankins. What do you guys think of the AFC North as a whole, as far as the additions to the division?
Well, the first thing we have to mention is the fact that some of the other three teams in our division all picked off players from our team. So let's not forget that part. We had several players from our team. At least one player go to one of the other teams in our division. Yep. That is nasty work, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely nasty work. Like crazy. That's just that's crazy. This AFC North incest going. Well, no, we're not gonna make jokes about incest. Forgive me, y'all. This AFC North craziness going on is like, are y'all serious right now? But the guys are getting paid. I guess you just got to be happy because I'm always for the player. I'm glad they're getting paid. So so that's just wild though. Right. That a player from our team went to each of the teams in our division. So yes, I think the AFC North will be extremely competitive again. It was extremely competitive last year. Some teams did suffer some injuries. Cincinnati lost Burrow, and Deshaun Watson went down. Nick Chubb went down. Each of the teams lost some players. We lost players, although people tried to act like we were just healthy all season long.
Right. We lost players. We lost
players. Right. We absolutely, but they were fooled because the level of play was still there. Because ADC does his job, and because we had good depth, because we have great coaches, and all that kind of stuff, we were able to keep playing at a high level. Right. Well, we lost Speedy Gonzalez, Roadrunner. We lost Roadrunner, running back. We lost Mark Andrews, number 2 tight end in the league. I don't care what y'all say. Number 2 tight end in the league. And some up. We didn't get our edges. Ojabo wasn't able to come back. Oway was out some games. Our quarterback room got hit terribly again. What goes on with our quarterback room, y'all? Our cornerbacks were going down. So just because we were able to keep playing at a high level, let's not act like our team did not suffer a lot of injuries. And obviously we lost JK. But we were able to keep playing and play well. So the AFC North is going to be nasty again in terms of competition. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a fight to win a division. The Browns took us to the brink. I mean, we had the 2 games ahead. We just had to keep winning until they ran out of games to catch up. And that's exactly what happened. We stayed at least 2 games ahead. And eventually they just ran out of games to catch up with us. And that's when we clinched the division. But the Bengals actually finished 9-8, missed the playoffs just because the whole AFC was ridiculous this season. They finished 9-8. Like any other year, we could have had our entire division in the playoffs. Yeah. So, the Browns finished 10-7, right? And the Steelers, what did the Steelers finish? 7. I thought they finished 10-7 too.
They did? Oh yeah, they did. They made the playoffs, right?
Yeah. They finished 10-7, and then you know how we finished. So yeah, it was tough last year, and we finished like that, even though a number of players got injured on all 4 teams. So if everybody comes back and they're healthy this season, it's going to be another bloodbath in the AFC North, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it because, hey, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. We're trying to win the Super Bowl. We have to play other teams in the AFC, including our division. I mean, if you come out of our division, you're prepared.
Oh, for sure.
If you win our division, you are prepared. So I'm excited about the AFC North. I will be doing the AFC North position group rankings again like we did last offseason. Wanted to wait till the draft was over and everything. But we're going to do this position rankings again, y'all, because we want to go back in here and see. So it's going to be some good discussions around that. I absolutely know that. And I know that particularly the Browns and the Steelers, especially the Steelers, they're going to be feeling very confident going into this season with the additions. And they should. Right? So our teams drafted well. I'm going to land here. Our teams drafted well in the draft last year. Everybody picked up some really good players. And I expect the same this year. So I think the AFC North North is the best division of football. I'm sorry.
I do as well. Trippy, AFC North. What do you make with all the moves, man? You know, your boy Queen, the Steelers.
Yeah, that
Bengals.
Geno Stone, Bengals, Huntley.
Man.
But look, I'm looking at it now. I'm looking at it now. Like at least each division team got 2 former Ravens. You got Lando Brown, Geno Stone.
Yeah.
You got Patrick Queen, Joker. Then you got Snoop, James Prochet, Zadarius Smith. Like it's crazy, but I look at it like this, right? Like big shout outs to our scouting department because it's just like
exactly.
It's a reason why they signed them. You know what I mean? Like the vision. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be tough, but I feel like it's gonna be a 3-team race this year. I ain't too high on the Bengals. I feel like it's gonna be between us, the Steelers, and the Browns.
Agreed.
And I'm hoping. Because it seemed like the last couple seasons, we've been playing the Steelers the last season or something like that. I'm hoping it's like, I hope they switch it up this year. Maybe we play like the Browns week 18 or something like that. Make it a little, you know what I mean? But we'll see though. But it's definitely going to be a tough division though. It ain't going to be no cakewalk. You know what I mean? It ain't going to be no cakewalk how like, you know, the Bengals talking about, it was our division for the last couple years, this and that. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
We'll see though. But I still feel like it's our division to lose though. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we're going to end it here. But before we end it, Trippy, how many games you going to this year?
Hey, look, my plan was I wasn't planning on going back to Pittsburgh or Cincinnati this year, but you know, I'm real cool with Patrick Queen and Geno Stone people, so I'll probably go party with them. You know, I'm still have my purple on, but definitely, I don't know, I might miss a couple home games this year. That might sound crazy. I want to like just go to a couple away games, like the LA definitely. LA. That
you mean LA. Ravens West?
Right, yeah, Ravens West.
I missed that last year, but the reason why I missed LA because I knew we was going back this year again. So I guess this is the perfect reason to go. So, you know, it's gonna be like a family reunion. You got Dallas, Houston, Tampa. I'm basically just trying to go to like stadiums I ain't been to before, so I could just add to the, you know, the stadium tour. So.
Okay. So Ms. Gina, real quick, you just mentioned the Ravens West. You know, give us something on JK hitting to the Chargers before we get out of here.
I don't know why you're trying to end on a note like this, Matthew. You know I love JK. I still love JK. Yeah. I still love JK. You know I defended JK to the hilt.
To the hilt,
and I will still love him. I hope the dude is 100% healthy. You know, they're except for when we play them, then I need people to not play well. But otherwise, go ahead and play well. I definitely want him to be healthy. I hope Gus. I love Gus to the hilt. That one hurt when Gus went over there earlier. It's like not Gus the bus. I defended him to the hilt. But yeah, I can't believe those Ravens West. That's just crazy to me. So we got Ravens North, right? That's the Jets. And we got Ravens West. Now that's the Chargers. We gotta look at and see what other Ravens teams we got out there.
Gotta look for Ravens South now.
Yeah, but for real, I love those guys, and even though they're on other teams, I still love them. So I want JK to do well. I want Gus to do well. Just not when we play them, but I want them to do well. And I hope things work out well for them. JK can ball. That dude can ball.
Man, He's JK just had the JK most try to run for 300 against us.
Situation. Yeah. He just had the most unfortunate health issues, and it's crazy. So hopefully, going over there, he'll get a fresh start. Maybe that LA weather will do him some good. Maybe he can, stay healthy over there. And I want him to do something because I've always believed in him, always. And I hate how people laughed about him, but that dude is a baller.
He is. So, shout out to Greg Roman, man. At one point the most hated man in Baltimore. Real quick, so Trippy, Miss Gina, tell the people what you guys are going to be doing. Anything you got coming up that you want to kind of plug real quick before we get out of here. You can start, Miss Gina, and then Trippy, if you got anything. I know you be moving and shaking, so go ahead and let the people know where they can find y'all at.
So first of all, it's good to be back talking ball on a podcast. Do look to be. I'm trying to restart my podcast as soon as possible, but everybody knows what's been going down in my household. But we got actually got an edit for my intro that's already been done, and outros. There'll be some fun things. So I am looking to start that back up again. We will be having the AFC North position rankings spaces again, and where we're going to break down and rate each position group in the league, who's first, second, third, and fourth. That was mad fun last year. Major discussion. And so I'm looking forward to that. Also, the Undroppables, definitely got to drop a word on the Undroppables. If you are a fantasy football fan, then you should be following the Undroppables. Mad information over there, y'all. And also even on player props and bets and all that good stuff. But this is legitimate information. Like, they don't just say stuff just to say it. Like, right. they really give you solid information. So make sure you go and follow the Undroppables on YouTube, on Twitter, on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, the Undroppables. You see them everywhere. And also, I don't know if anyone out here has applied for She Talks Football, for Scott Fishbowl. Waiting around trying to see if we get in the Scott Fishbowl. So yeah, I'm hoping I will be able to get in. And I'm going to be doing something coming up soon with another special friend related to football and charity, which is close to my heart. So nice. Probably late May, early June, you'll be hearing about this special event that me and another person, are doing related to charity, because it's a particular shelter that I love, and so we want to do something around that. So that's kind of what's on the pike for me. So I appreciate you for inviting me on, and it's so good to get on a podcast and talk football. I have not done it in months. Thank you.
Of course, and I, it's a pleasure having you. Trippy, what you got?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I've been a little slacking on my Ravens content, man. I don't even be on TikTok like that no more, but I got some stuff cooking up. I be doing the Zone 32 podcast with my guys. Y'all can check that out. The new episode just came out, 107. And like I said, I'm gonna be doing a space after the draft, probably that Monday after the draft or that Tuesday with Kyle Barber. So Raven fans, if y'all want to come tap in, ask him a question, you know how he is. I'm just for the people. So
okay.
And then don't forget, come out to Bobby and Sarah draft party this Thursday at Baltimore Soundstage. That's where I'll probably be at. So that's about it. Just slowly but surely, hey, season was over. We was waiting for the draft here. Now the next move, waiting for the schedule. After the schedule, mini camps, then training camp, then hey, we're gonna go back and try to go for this Super Bowl again.
I've been loaded. Hey, y'all, it's gonna be fast and furious. Just understand, the draft is in 6 days. Right after that, the week after that, we got rookie mini camp. After that, you're gonna have all the veterans report. I forgot how long they're there, and then everybody breaks until training camp. But it's gonna be fast and furious. So make sure y'all keep it locked at Draft Nerds on Twitter, also at Draft Nerds on YouTube. We're everywhere you get your podcast. So we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts if you just want to listen to the audio, and obviously if you want to watch the videos, it's on YouTube and it's on Twitter. You can find it right there on the Draft Nerds Twitter page, as well as my own personal page. So again, man, I thank everybody for tuning in. All right now, 490 of you guys out there, man. I love you guys. I appreciate you for rocking with us. I again, thank you to Trippy, Kicker, and also Miss Gina. She Talks Football. Man, these two the best, man. I'm trying to tell you, we gotta. I'm gonna start a campaign. Get Trippy into the fan Hall of Fame, man. Like, one of the ones, man. I always think.
Oh yeah, I forgot, y'all. Look, hey, I know y'all like Lamar, dog, man. Make sure y'all support my guy. My man, he hit me up, was like, man, I'm trying to give you this shirt, man. Just share it for people. So
okay,
I got the little my bad. I got the little, what's the name on it? But I'm gonna share the little post so y'all can go ahead and support my guy, man. This is a dope shirt and the material real good, man. I like it on there. Got the boy 8 on there. Hopefully we get another one with his this bar right here be, a Lombardi or something like that. So yeah.
Okay, love it. All right, well, again, man, y'all know where to find us, and thank you again. I appreciate y'all. These two are the best in the business. Until next time, peace.
All right, man. Appreciate
Shout
you.
out
All
to
right, Miss Jane. Good night.
Skytown.
I see y'all.
Good night.